Welcome back to the Before AGI Weekly AI News. Another wild week for AI, huh? Lots to unpack.
Absolutely, yeah. Seems like every day there's something new and groundbreaking. It's hard to even keep up.
It really is. That's kind of why we do this deep dive every week, though, right? Try to make sense of it all for everyone.
Exactly. Cut through the noise, so to speak.
Right, so let's jump right in. Google's Gemini 2.0, that's the big one this week.
Huge. It's being hailed as Google's most advanced AI yet. It's not just a step forward. It's like a leap.
I saw that. They're using the term agentic AI. What does that even mean?
Okay, so imagine this. Instead of just, reacting to your commands, an agentic AI actually understands your goals, like what you're trying to achieve, and can proactively take steps to make it happen.
So it's not just doing what I say, it's figuring out what I need.
Yes, exactly. Like, think about planning a conference. You tell Gemini, okay, organize this conference for me. It wouldn't just book a venue. It could handle invitations, suggest speakers based on the theme, even draft an agenda. Like, it learns your style, your preferences, all that.
Whoa. Okay, that is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's a potential game changer. But of course, with any powerful technology, there are concerns.
Right, like ethically. Could be some issues there.
Definitely. Especially with the possibility of a rollback of AI regulations under the new administration.
Yeah, some people say that would stifle innovation, right? While others are worried about, like, a Wild West scenario.
Exactly. It's a tricky balance, finding the right balance between, encouraging progress and making sure it's responsible progress.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of responsible development, I was reading about the Patrick J. McGovern Foundation. They're putting some serious money into human-centered AI projects.
Oh, yeah, a massive investment, $73.5 million. It's
Yeah.
really encouraging to see that kind of commitment to using AI for good, tackling societal challenges with ethics in mind.
It gives you some hope, right? That it's not just about profit and competition.
For sure. Although, speaking of competition, the AI industry is getting pretty heated these days.
It's like a whole drama unfolding,
Yeah.
especially with OpenAI going from nonprofit to for-profit.
Yeah, that move has stirred up a lot of controversy. You've got big names like Elon Musk and Meta criticizing it, saying it goes against OpenAI's original mission, to benefit humanity.
Right, they're worried about the focus shifting to profit instead of, like, safety and ethics.
Exactly. They argue that AI development should prioritize those things, not just making money.
But OpenAI claims they need that for-profit structure to, attract investors and keep pushing the research forward.
Right. They say it's the only way to achieve their goals. It's a real clash of ideologies.
It's a fascinating debate, really. Like, who controls AI? Who benefits from it?
Exactly. And how do we make sure it serves everyone, not just a select few? It's a question that's going to keep coming up, I think.
It probably will. But this tension is also driving some interesting trends, like open source AI.
Absolutely. With open source, anyone can access and modify the code, which could mean faster innovation and lower costs.
Sounds good, but doesn't that also increase the risk of, like, misuse?
That's the trade-off, right? Openness versus control. It's a balancing act. But we're already seeing open source AI being used for good, too. Like, UNESCO has this new AI-powered chatbot designed to help policymakers make better decisions about education.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. How does it work?
It analyzes tons of data to identify trends and areas for improvement, potentially a game changer for education systems worldwide.
So it's like using AI to make education more effective.
Exactly. But again, we have to consider the ethical implications. Is the data unbiased? How do we prevent these systems from, reinforcing existing inequalities?
Lots to think about there. Okay, so open source is definitely a trend to watch, but even with the big players, we're seeing some pretty cool applications of AI.
Oh, for sure. Like, have you seen Google's new image generation tool, Whisk?
I haven't. Tell me about it.
It's wild. So instead of describing what you want in words, you can actually use existing images as prompts.
So, like, I could show it a picture of my dog, a picture of the beach, and a Van Gogh painting, and it would, combine them.
Exactly. It would generate variations of your dog on the beach, but in a Van Gogh style. Pretty amazing, right?
That is very cool. Makes image creation so much more accessible.
Definitely. It's democratizing creativity, really. Of course, there are still concerns about biases in the models and all that, but it's a fascinating development.
Agreed. And speaking of democratizing things, Salesforce is really pushing the boundaries of enterprise AI with their new AgentForce 2.0.
Oh, yeah. That's a huge upgrade to their platform. It's all about building and managing AI agents for businesses.
So, like, AI that can automate tasks and streamline workflows.
Exactly. Even provide personalized customer service. Imagine that, an AI assistant that handles all your customer
It's
interactions.
like the future of business,
Mhm.
right? AI taking over all the tedious stuff.
In a way, yeah. But it also raises questions about jobs and the role of humans in the workplace, which is a whole other conversation.
A conversation for another day, maybe. But for now, I think it's important to remember that with all this progress, security and privacy are still huge concerns.
Absolutely. Microsoft just delayed the release of their recall feature because of security worries. Even the big tech companies are struggling with this stuff.
Makes you wonder, right? Like, how secure can these systems really be?
It's a valid question. And then there's data privacy. As AI becomes more integrated into our lives, how do we protect our information?
Right, we need more transparency from companies about how they're using our data.
Absolutely. We can't just blindly trust that they'll do the right thing. We need regulations, ethical guidelines, the whole package.
I think that's a good place to wrap up this first part of our deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground.
We have, yeah. From breakthroughs to challenges, the AI landscape is constantly shifting. It's an exciting time, but also a time for careful consideration.
Exactly. We need to be informed and engaged, not just passive observers. And speaking of being informed,
You're going to plug the Ian Ochieng AI YouTube channel, right?
of course, if you want to stay up to date on all things AI, that's the place to be. Subscribe to the channel for in-depth analyses and insights you won't find anywhere else.
Couldn't agree more. So we'll be back after a short break to continue our deep dive. See you in a bit. Welcome back. Let's dive into something kind of interesting, the connection between AI and sustainability.
Yeah, I've been seeing more and more about how AI can help with environmental challenges,
Mm-hmm.
like optimizing energy use, creating new materials, that sort of thing.
Absolutely. And we're seeing some, well, unexpected players entering this space too.
Really? Like who?
Well, ExxonMobil, for example, they just announced plans to build a massive natural gas power plant specifically for, get this, powering AI data centers.
Wait, ExxonMobil. That's kind of surprising, isn't it?
It might seem that way at first, but think about it. Those data centers that run all these complex AI models, they consume enormous amounts of energy.
True. So ExxonMobil is basically what, betting on natural gas as the fuel for this AI-powered future.
Yeah, you could say that. They're incorporating carbon capture tech to try and minimize the environmental impact, of course.
Okay, so is this like genuine commitment to sustainability or just a clever PR move?
Tough to say, for sure. But it definitely shows how much pressure there is on the tech industry to get greener.
Yeah, definitely. And it's not just about powering AI, right? AI itself can be used to make existing technologies more sustainable.
Exactly. Researchers at Heriot-Watt University are using AI to speed up the modeling process for carbon capture and storage technology, CCS.
What does that mean exactly?
So designing and optimizing those CCS systems usually takes like 100 days. With AI, they can do it in just 24 hours.
Wow, that's a huge difference.
Huge. And CCS is crucial for fighting climate change, but it can be really complex and time-consuming, so this could be a game changer.
Yeah, it could make CCS more efficient and affordable, so more companies would adopt it.
Exactly. Plus, they're using AI to optimize how these systems actually operate, making sure they're capturing CO2 as effectively as possible.
This is all pretty encouraging, actually. Like, AI could really be a powerful tool for tackling climate change.
It definitely has the potential, but we can't just rely on tech, right? We need actual policy changes and behavioral shifts to create a truly sustainable world.
True. Technology is just one part of the solution.
Right. Okay, so let's switch gears a bit. What about artificial general intelligence, or AGI? What are your thoughts?
AGI. It's exciting, but also a bit scary, right? The idea of machines reaching human-level intelligence or even surpassing it.
Yeah, it's definitely a topic that sparks a lot of debate. No earth-shattering breakthroughs this week, but Google's Gemini 2.0 does make you think about the path to more general AI.
In what way?
Well, Gemini 2.0, it can handle text, images, audio, all seamlessly. They call it multimodal AI. And it's got these enhanced reasoning capabilities, like it's getting closer to being able to tackle a much wider range of tasks.
So, like, it's more adaptable, more flexible.
Yeah, exactly. Learning from experience, adapting to different situations. It's a step toward AI that's more like, well, like us.
Right. And multimodal AI, for those who don't know, it basically means AI that can process information in multiple ways like humans do, right?
Yeah.
Not just reading text, but also seeing images, hearing sounds, maybe even interacting with the physical world through touch and movement.
Precisely. That's key for building more general-purpose AI systems. like ones that can function more like humans do.
It's exciting to think about the potential, like AGI could solve some of the world's biggest problems,
Yeah.
disease, energy,
Yeah.
poverty.
The possibilities are huge. But then there's the other side of the coin, right? What if we create a superintelligence that we can't control?
Yeah, that's the fear, isn't it? Like a sci-fi movie gone wrong.
Exactly. These are big questions, and we need to be thinking about them now as this research progresses, not waiting until it's too late.
Agreed. We need to be very careful and deliberate with how we develop AGI. But focusing back on the near future, what are some other key trends we should be watching for?
Well, based on what we've seen this week, I'd say the rise of this multimodal AI is definitely a big one. Like AI that can seamlessly integrate different types of data, that's going to be huge.
Right. And it seems like AI is going to play an even bigger role in solving those global challenges we talked about, climate change, healthcare, education.
Absolutely. And another trend we can't ignore is the emphasis on ethics. As AI gets more powerful, we need to make sure it's being developed and used responsibly, ethically.
Yeah, that's crucial. Data privacy, bias in algorithms, the impact on jobs, all of that needs careful consideration.
Couldn't agree more. And lastly, I think we'll see a continued push to democratize AI, making it more accessible and affordable for everyone, not just big tech companies.
That would be great. A more diverse AI ecosystem where more people can benefit from this technology.
Exactly. It's a fascinating time to be following AI. The future is full of possibilities, both good and bad, and it's up to us to shape that future to make sure AI is used for good.
Well said. Okay, let's take a moment to gather our thoughts before we wrap up this deep dive with some final insights. All right, welcome back to the Before AGI Weekly AI News Deep Dive Final Stretch. We've covered a lot of ground, right? Agentic AI, sustainability, even AGI, the whole spectrum.
It's been a whirlwind, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And it just shows how AI is rapidly evolving, impacting every corner of our lives.
Yeah, and I think that's what we really want to drive home in this last part. What does all this mean for the listener? How is AI going to affect their life, their work, their future?
Right. It's not some far-off concept anymore. AI is already here, woven into our daily experiences, even if we don't always realize it.
I mean, think about it. Personalized recommendations when you're shopping online, the algorithms that decide what you see on social media, it's all AI.
Exactly. And as AI technology keeps advancing, this influence is only going to grow. So the big question is, how do we navigate this AI-driven world?
Yeah, what are the key takeaways from this week's deep dive that, our listeners should really keep in mind?
Okay, so first off, stay informed. AI is changing so fast, it's easy to get overwhelmed. Find reliable sources of information, engage in conversations about AI, and just stay curious.
Absolutely. There are tons of resources out there, articles, podcasts, online communities. And speaking of resources,
So we're going to plug the Ian Ochieng AI YouTube channel, right?
of course, it's one of the best places to learn about AI, hands down. Subscribe to the channel for in-depth analysis. You won't find that level of insight anywhere else.
Yeah, Ian's the best. Another key takeaway is that ethics, it's got to be front and center. We need to be actively shaping how AI is developed, how it's used, making sure it benefits everyone.
Right. It's about asking the tough questions.
hmm
Data privacy, bias in algorithms, the impact on jobs. These are things we can't ignore.
Definitely. The future of AI, it's not set in stone, It's being shaped by the choices we make today. So stay informed, stay engaged, and most importantly, stay curious. The future is being written right now, and we all have a part to play.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, that wraps up this week's Before AGI Weekly AI News Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the world of AI.
Always a pleasure. See you next week.